Sessions with Mary Jane. I am your host, Jordan Freed.
I'm your other host, Reena Ezra.
And I'm the third host, Brendan O'Brien.
What? We have a third host? What? It's been so long since we had all three in the same room together.
Yeah.
True, this is true.
This is a pretty epic reunion for all of us to come together, and we have a local rock star to bring us into our little reunion here. Give it up for Joe Marrero of The Great Fraud.
Yeah, Joe. Yes, clap it up.
Welcome.
Yeah, so...
Thank you for having me, man. All you guys.
Just a little backstory. I met Joe a little recently on we were doing a little modeling for
Sure.
a Airbnb experience that might be opening up in the North Jersey area.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
okay,
very interesting.
okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah, we learned about collecting your own rainwater and
Okay.
farming in the yard.
Starting fires.
Starting fires. He started the fire. He was very excited about the water.
That's the part I was looking forward to the most.
Nice. You enjoyed that experience?
Yeah, you can say that. I enjoyed Jordan. Jordan was cool about it.
Cool. And you're coming from Hackensack, you said?
I am coming from Hackensack.
Have
Yes.
you been in Hackensack long?
A
Grew up
couple
in
years.
Hackensack, or-
I'm originally from Fort Lee.
Fort
So I
Lee,
grew up.
okay.
I was born and raised in Fort Lee.
Okay.
Cool.
Nice. We
Yeah,
know the
it's
area.
my hometown.
Cool.
It's also the hometown of film, right?
It is. It's the home. It's the original Hollywood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they used to shoot. I guess. I mean, I don't know the whole thing, but they used to shoot out on the Palisades there. So if you guys are familiar with that area,
Yes.
there's all the
Oh,
Palisades
wow.
that look over the, and that's where we used to get high. We would go out to the Palisades, go climb out down to a rock and chill out there all day at night. And that was like our thing back in the day, but no more.
Sweet.
No more of those things. God. You got the...
Yeah, we have fire. Now you're
We are not
becoming...
cave people.
Oh, the pipe.
Well, I'm still like, I'm old school, so like I'm still like under the impression that it's all illegal. The whole thing, like,
Still have that paranoia.
Oh, me, I totally have that.
Yeah.
I totally have that.
We're too conditioned.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna just
Right.
slip the rug out from under us and be like, "It's a joke,
Yeah.
son.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not
gotcha, bitch.
Yeah.
No, but it's like, I feel like I've spent too many days smoking weed, like, looking like that, like someone's gonna bust in on me, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's just like my natural habitat, like, my mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can relax or get anxious again because I know we have a challenge.
Yes,
So-
we do actually. We do have a challenge for
I'm
you.
up for challenges, that's fine.
Yes, now that you are one with Mary Jane, we decided to just give you a little challenge for the background as we do. And since you're a little rocker in New Jersey, we figured you'd name some rock and roll Hall of Famers. As many as you can in the
I have
background.
no idea.
Oh, yeah. That's
Rock and
totally
Roll
fine.
Hall of Fame, let's see.
That's good, because then we can say F you to the
Yeah, I don't give
mainstream.
a fuck about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, to be honest.
Nice, I like a
I'm
good
like not
boycott.
one of those guys. I'm more of like a 60s guy. And like, all my friends are all these like heavy metal 80s guys, and they would know all this.
Mm-hmm.
You ask one of my best buddies, they would give you name after name after name. I don't know, Bon Jovi, Kiss, I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't
Those
follow
are
that
valid.
stuff.
Those
yes.
two are valid, right?
Yes,
Are they in?
I believe
They have to be.
Yeah.
How about this? Tom Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Is he in there? He should be. If he's not.
Well, I'm gonna check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roy Orbison,
Yeah.
Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe.
Chuck Berry's got to be in there.
Are any of these bands / singers on like the top of the list of people that you either admire or inspire?
Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
Chuck Berry's my man. He's king of rock and roll.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like I said, I'm into like the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yeah.
You put me in that spot, that's kind of where my musical taste is.
Yeah.
I also like a lot of, I like the artist Django Reinhardt, the guitar player. He plays gypsy jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So some of that older stuff. I like the old 20s, 30s style flapper music, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. It's really chill. You like kind of background music.
Yeah.
I dig that stuff.
What are your earliest memories of listening to music, like when you were little?
Probably my mother playing like the Beatles or something like that, or some artist, I don't know. I can't even think. Pat Benatar or something like that, like one of those kind of people.
Yeah.
Like, but my mom was always into like music and it was just kind of always around me, but I never really cared for it most. When I think of what I was listening to when I was a kid, I didn't really like the 80s music so much. So, but I did enjoy some of the artists like Michael Jackson. You know, like for me, Michael Jackson. I didn't know Michael Jackson had a long, long career when I was that kid, but I liked Thriller and Beat It and all that stuff. You know, so.
Yeah.
But,
correction, Tom Jones and Roy they're not in.
They're
Roy
not in,
Orbison is not?
That's what I thought. I'm thinking, he's got to be in there.
Those are not in.
Tom Jones, I can see why he's not in there, but...
Is Michael Jackson in it? I don't think he's inducted either.
That's the thing, too.
Because it's not even rock and roll anymore.
Right.
It's been the genres, like pop people are in there, you have like folk people are in there. And it's
honestly, I don't even know. I know because, I know that lots of people induct other people.
Right.
So sometimes I think, they're in there, they're in there. I don't know. I can't tell.
True. Yeah.
So I don't watch all that stuff, man. I the awards. If you ask me about like the artists for today, I have no idea. I'm just making my own music and I listen to the same stuff I've been listening to when I was like, 15, 16.
Well, how did you know what kind of music you wanted to make?
Well, it's funny because when I first started playing guitar, I was playing, I got into like Nirvana and stuff. Like grunge kind of triggered like an interest in music. And I saw this dude playing the guitar on a boat. On my grandfather used to have a boat. We used to go down to the boat on like 4th of July. And one time there was this dude playing songs. He played like Bryan Adams songs and, If You Ever Loved a Woman or, he's playing like even like Roy Orbison stuff. He was playing some of that old bluesy kind of music, and I was like, at that time I was probably like 12, 11, and my dad bought me a guitar, but I didn't give a fuck about it. I didn't want to learn it or anything like that. I wasn't like ready to play, and then, what was the question again? Sorry.
Not a problem. Jay's kicking it already.
Yeah.
How did you know what kind of musical style you wanted to play?
I did not get into music until Nirvana. We were in middle school. Nirvana came out. My one friend, Adam, was he was like the biggest Kurt Cobain fan you ever met in your life. Really, like he really was that like hardcore about Nirvana. And I didn't even know who they were. We got the music. And we're like, dude, this shit is really cool. Like, Nevermind, we bought the album or whatever. And it was cool. And so I was like, all right, my cousin started playing. His dad bought him a guitar. And I was like, shit, I want to play with you. So we started a little band playing Nirvana music. And there was two brothers who lived down the street. And we started playing that. And we were totally into it. We had we learned all the albums. We learned the acoustic Unplugged album. And then we're like... And then soon after that, there was all these other artists that were in that kind of grunge genre that were like, okay, we can learn their music. We bought some of their books or whatever. Or we would get the guitar books and some of their songs were in the books.
Okay.
And we would learn a couple songs here and there. And then, for months we were doing this. And it sounded cool. And at one point, the bass player of the band was the younger brother of the two brothers, the drummer and the bass player. The younger brother's like, so what do you think about Jimi Hendrix? And I was like, I don't know who Jimi Hendrix is. And so he was like, what? You don't know who Jimi Hendrix is? I was like, no, I had never heard of him. He's like, all right, okay. He's like, all right. And he just like, he left. He was leaving because they were all the next day we went back to my cousin's house and he had Are You Experienced? He put it on the CD player and I started hearing the music and I was listening to it and I didn't understand that music could just be anything. Like you could really just make any kind of music you wanted. I thought music was more similar to like what I'd heard before that was very structured. Everything was very exact. I didn't understand improvisation. I didn't understand creating melodies on the fly or whatever it may be, or how melodies were created and how you could really just like paint the full picture with the music. I didn't get that. You could do that with just a guitar. And so I was like, okay, so I started learning more about it. I learned Hendrix's music and I was like, okay, I have to learn all of Hendrix's music. This way, if I can play like this, I think I'll pretty much be able to pick up on anybody else's music. So that's kind of what I did. I just kind of studied all his music and what was going on. I still didn't get it. Like I was doing it, but I didn't get it. And it was Hendrix that really, and his music that took me to where I am now. in terms of my understanding of how to play, like how to create music and all that stuff. But to be honest, like when I started listening to Hendrix, that's when I started listening to everybody else.
The gateway.
What an introduction
that was like the gate was just open. It was like now you can listen to all this and understand what Hendrix was doing versus what these guys are doing.
Yeah.
So when I listen to like now, I listen to Motley Crue or I listen to whoever, I don't know, name Aerosmith or whatever it is.
Aerosmith's probably in the hall.
Aerosmith definitely. Oh, absolutely.
Motley Crue. I have to look up how long.
Dude, honestly,
how long you have to be, right? How old you have to be in order to be considered to be an inductee.
Oh, that's
right?
maybe I think like 20 years or 20.
Yeah, they want you to be real old. Yeah, you get inducted.
I don't know what it is, but it's something. It's pretty crazy. When I think of music, what I'm thinking of is just like one spot, and from there. So I'm pretty much just keeping it right wherever I want it. So if I know that one note, that's the home of all the music that I'm playing. And I didn't understand that kind of stuff when I was, learning all that shit. Yeah. So it was like, doing that, getting into that kind of music, really, it started building.
What's the process for you when you, like, let's say you're gonna try to learn all these Jimi Hendrix songs? Like, how do you go through and actually learn them?
So what I did back then was, and that's funny you asked me that because I'm doing that right now. I'm doing that for a band called Paradise Rose. That is, we're gonna be playing a show June 11th, and we're down in Frenchtown or wherever it is, and it's.
What's the name of the venue you're playing at?
Artie's, I believe.
Artie's, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have to learn all these songs. I have to learn a set.
Yeah.
So I'm just because I understand the music before going into it. It's a lot easier for me to learn it than it was back then when I really didn't understand what music was and how it worked and all that. And I was just following books and written paper, like, tablature or listening to it a million times and trying to match it up, and understand it, Because when you're building music, you're essentially stacking notes on top of each other in time. So, that's why if you ever seen one of those things on YouTube where they have the piano and then all the green lights are coming down and they're all like in different patterns and the guy plays the thing as he's hitting the notes.
Yeah.
It's like he's stacking notes in time. So you're building stuff like that. And basically for when you're doing that stuff, it's like you have to like kind of understand where you're coming from and where you want to go. Do I want it to be like I'm sorry, your question was again exactly?
What's the process for you of when you're learning new music?
New music, yeah. So for these guys, when they wrote you gotta kind of think about what they were thinking when they wrote the music. They're trying to create a certain sound. So like, for instance, I'm learning this. That's kind of the riff for the song that I'm working on now. And to me it's like breaking it down in pieces. So I have to look at what they're doing in parts. There's one part here. Da 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 da, whatever it may be. Okay, what comes next? Next part is da 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 da. So I'm thinking about it in little parts.
That's the easiest way for you to digest it.
I break it down into its simplest form, which is basically, I take a group of things and put them as one.
It is like learning a language. It is when you understand
which
already.
I'm trying to do now, but it's hard.
But you do, especially for music, because everything it's just sound.
Exactly.
And then everything or is just vibrations, and then it's like the rhythm or feeling to things and not like, I mean, because I'm not musically talented whatsoever, so the only thing I equated to is like, oh, if I were to like, when in my Spanish class, for me to understand the language more, it's easier to read and write.
Right.
It's easier to hear it
Well,
and have
if
a
you're somebody
conversation.
who, let's say you're
So-
somebody who knows several languages, for you, looking at a certain language may be a certain thing. But if I was to tell to you how you may be, you may be actually musically talented, is can you sing Happy Birthday? Happy birthday to you.
So you still have
Happy
something,
birthday.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So you're just floating along on this pattern,
right.
up and down, da, 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 you know, and so that's how it's a language. But when you want to put it all together, you're doing da, 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 and you got another one.
That's an interesting example.
You know, you're harmonizing, and they're in different places. So you're playing the same like, right, and then or how. A little hot, but I'm trying to come up with like a pattern line. So, like, for instance, you have a pattern here. Right? And then you have... Alright. You have... And, you know, you put them together. You know, you're putting harmonizing the two notes, and wherever it may be.
Music
I
lesson.
know.
Yeah,
it is funny because it's just like the basic chords.
Yeah, exactly.
It's over any instrument. You're just dealing with the same.
You know? Like, I'm trying to show it, but I'm like thinking too hard. But yeah, that's basically.
No, I love it.
It's awesome.
We understand. Yeah, it is.
So you have certain patterns that repeat. You know.
Yes.
So you got that. That's it. You just kind of build. Look, if you want the song to sound like, let's say you take a chord, all the next notes up are right there. They're right in front of it. The next ones are right in front of that. You know, you're just climbing up. Then you can get creative with it. Princess.
Nice.
Yeah, you know.
I can't imagining that high.
And the cool thing about it is, like, you can just take two chords, for instance. Like, let's say you like a C chord, and you like an A chord. So this is a song I wrote. It was like. So, like, just by taking a couple chords, you can put together a whole piece of a song. You build one thing after another. You know, you're just kind of stacking stuff on top.
Yes.
Yeah.
So once you go from one idea, you go to the next idea. Then you go to that. From that idea, you go to the next.
Yeah.
Back around and loop it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What song was that from?
This is that was Going Down to the River to Drown.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, uplifting.
Yeah. It's a very motivating song. It's on the album American Dream. You can get that album. It's out.
Great,
It's on
awesome.
our website, but it's a cool song. I'm going down to the river. I'm going down to the river, down to the river. I'm going down to the river to drown. When I die, 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 you may lay my bones out to dry. To the river, down to the river, down to the river, I'm going down the river.
Very nice.
Very nice. Little section of it,
Yeah. What inspired that song? How did you get started to write that song?
It's just the chords inspire the music in a sense. You find two chords you like. You like A minor and how it goes to the G. E, A minor. For
I love how the
instance.
chords inspire that, because I always
Yeah.
think musicians, when they write their song, they must have some sort of story or feeling that just ignites the whole. But I do love how it is.
I try and do that shit.
I do love how it is. It is mechanical. It is technical. It is your thought process of it is the bare bones, just from where you're starting to where you finish.
I want to build it in a way that I want it to be. So, for instance, if I want it to be soft and whatever, I can't even tell this pick is so worn down. Right? It's let's say I want it to be
He's just walking down the street with his friends.
So I got a song about Mary Jane, right? I got a song about Mary Jane.
Oh, yeah?
Ready? Check it out. Oh, Mary Jane, you ease my pain. Mary Jane, keep me from going insane.
and we are blessed. Yeah, the name of the song is
Oh, Mary Jane.
Oh, Mary Jane. Oh, Mary Jane on Sessions with Mary Jane.
I also love the guitar where it is very like unpolished, and it's very where you can hear the hands skidding up and down
I
the guitar, and like nothing is the imperfections make it wonderful. It's like the very because it's a human. It's a human doing all that.
A lot of the people don't realize but the space that you leave between notes, and I'm just messing around here. I'm not forget it. I mean, when you see us play a full night with the full band, and it's 3-4 hours of playing, it's kind of songs with electric guitars, and we're just rocking out all night long.
Yeah.
It's a different experience.
For sure.
But
yes.
When it comes to just like playing it, you're just it's like with practicing, you're supposed to make your mistakes while you're practicing. People are like, oh, I make a mistake. This, they get upset. And
that's how you work out the kinks.
Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to be making mistakes now. So when you get on the stage, even when you do make mistakes on the stage, you know how to recover from it. You're used to, where you're going. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But
it is wild that everyone just has their own, because you're talking about creativity with the notes and with the chords and like what you're making, and like everybody, like a band like Nirvana and then somebody like Jimi Hendrix, and it's Jimi Hendrix.
Exactly.
It's completely different, and it's like
Seattle water, yeah.
One Hendrix.
A single Jimi Hendrix. No, but it is just like it's electric guitar, and people play it so many different ways. It's acoustic and it's just like a piano, just like a.
Right. So the way somebody's gonna play, everybody's different. So I'm not gonna tell you how they should play or what they should play or whatever. But like the way everybody kind of builds their music has a lot to do with what they like to hear out of themselves. What they want to do. You're not gonna start doing something you really don't want to do. Even you have to kind of be forced to do stuff you don't want to do.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
That's
so
true.
it's like you're gonna pick your own style, and that's kind of what you're gonna be good at. I mean, I go to a place over here. It's actually close to you guys. It's called Shawn's Crazy Saloon.
Okay.
And it's in North Arlington. And that is the spot right now. That is the place to be in terms of seeing live music. Like that Wednesday night, I'm usually there. I'll probably be there this Wednesday night just rocking out. And there's tons of great musicians there. Everybody's very cool. They all, they're all amazing in their own ways. And they all have their own body of music, their own repertoire, excuse me. And
that's cool.
Yeah, they all kind of have their own thing, so you never know what you're going to see there. And, I do a lot of the deep blues, and when I really want a blues, or I do country blues. I do a lot of Johnny Cash music.
Yeah, so in your music, you can definitely hear like a lot, like all the blues, the country, like the folk is definitely influencing there. So like, when did all that music kind of enter your life? Because we heard like a little bit of the rock history.
That's a good question. When did it happen? I would say I got introduced to Johnny Cash before, because I know the big movie came out around that time, but it was like I had already been listening to it, but I was listening to Ray Charles a lot and he goes into country and he starts going into like Georgia. Like if you had a piano here, I could play you Georgia and sing Georgia all night long. But
we have two. We might pull them down and how you play some Ray Charles for us.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you want, man. Anytime. But you guys should actually come out to one of our shows.
Oh, absolutely.
It would
Yes.
be fantastic.
Yes.
I mean, I'm booking right now, but I have a show booked down in Highlands. It's about an hour from here. It's going to be at a place called the Chubby Pickle.
Chubby Pickle, cool.
Very
cool.
You know what day that
Great
is?
Fraud's going to be there.
Nice.
And the Great Fraud is kind of my main project that we've been doing for 10 years, and we've played upwards of almost probably 800 shows or more. I would say probably 750 to 800 shows, I would think.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask how long, have you been playing live and with that group, and also how do you maintain your longevity, your what was the word I'm thinking of? Just to being fit for doing that, because that's so much energy. That's so much. That's exhausting. That's so much. That,
but
like,
it's energy spent in a good way.
Yes.
You know, you're not expelling energy, breaking your back, like, you know, hauling something and throwing it or lifting and getting all like, you know, which I do. But yeah, I mean, it's weird because you have to remain young at heart, and you have to. It's hard for me to say. I really don't even know the answer to that. I'm not like a spiritual guru, but I think you have to be like, I don't know. You have to have good attitude about it. You have to believe in it. You have to know that what it is and what it's not, and what, you know, who, you know. How it works, and just kind of just let it go, and just do it. If I wasn't enjoying it, I wouldn't be doing it, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, I have to make music. That's just what I am. That's what I do every day, and that's kind of just how I go about my day. I just keep. So,
did you meet this group, or did you start in the beginning with them? How did that come about?
Well, the Great Fraud started in 2012, and
the end of the world.
Yeah.
And the beginning of music.
My good friend Tasso, my brother from you know, a long time, he was there in the beginning of the Great Fraud, and we ended up finding a couple guys, Phil and Tony, who were able to like fill in what we, you know, because I was playing guitar and he was playing bass. So we needed the drums, we needed a solid drummer, and we had a harmonica player who was helping us, and he was working with us. And Phil was playing harmonica, and Tony was on the drums, and Tasso on the bass. And we were just playing like really explosive music. Like, it was just really big, and, you know, I thought it was cool. You know, it was a lot of fun. It's fun to play. Anybody who played with us knew that we were just having fun, and it was a fun. Whatever song we were playing, it was a fucking awesome song. It was fun. We were really in a rhythm, really, you know, building big music, and it was exciting. And so we were like, damn, you know, we had a good thing going, and so we were like, all right, let's enter into this contest, because there's a hard rock battle. This was 2012, right when we started. We were literally just starting 2012, we're like, let's get into this hard rock battle, because there's big names there's attached to it, you know, Bruce Springsteen and these people who were going to be playing in Hyde Park. Like, it was a worldwide hard rock cafe battle of the bands.
Oh. Wow.
So it was like thousands and thousands of bands competing all over the world, and in our area, something like 800 bands.
Oh my gosh.
And you had to go online and win. And get into the thing. So we were just promoting, trying to get into the top 9. You had to be in the top 9 to compete. So we were just promoting, and we got 10th place. And we were like, and they were like, we got an email saying, sorry, you did not win. You know, we were like, sorry, you did not get in, but you know, try again next time. You know, essentially, and. We're like, all right, fuck. We're like, that sucks, you know, okay, well, whatever. And then the next couple days later, they're like, oh, one of the bands dropped out, and you guys are in, do you still want to be in? And we're like, yeah. So now we were in 9th place, okay? And it was, how did they structure it? It was 3 bands versus 3 bands. Like, it was like 3 bands, 3 nights. You know, so it's 9 bands all together. And each night, the bands competed to find the winner, and then the winner of those bands competed at the last final. And so we went in the first night, and we won. Cool. And we came out the winners on you know, the thing. It was big. It was like they were broadcasting it on the radio, and Monkey Boy and all these, you know, the guy who was on the radio, I forget his name. I can't remember. But
you won the whole thing?
Well, we won that level.
Oh, okay.
And then we went on to the next level, to the finals. And we were the underdogs. And there were some amazing bands. There were great bands. And then we won. We won the finals that night. So we won New York. And
that's incredible.
so right off the start, we were just crowned a hard rock winners of New York, the whole area, you know, and we were just a band of, and that was, you had to play your original music. So we were just doing that, and we started playing shows, show after show after show. And we just kept playing. Like, we played, like, we ended up opening for some big acts. We ended up, like, opening for Johnny Winter. We ended up opening for Marshall Tucker Band, you know, Vanilla Fudge. These kind of national acts all in the area. And we just keep playing. It's not like, we're not, like, trying to tour the world or do all that. We're just making music at home and putting it online and playing shows. And that's it. And so, you know, at this point, and then COVID hit and kind of all the shows kind of died down. And I still did a few things here and there. And then what happened was there were some circumstances, and the band kind of, a couple of the players moved away. Like, Phil moved to California for family reasons. My bass player moved to Florida for family reasons and that. And so I ended up finding some more musicians around, just working with all these musicians in the area. And so I brought in some amazing players that are kind of like, it's like everybody kind of just works as a team to just play shows. And so anybody who's available is around for the show. We'll book the show. Okay, you're this day, that day, it's you, or whatever it is. And there's like, there's a few guys who play with us that are kind of now mixed into the band, which is really just a family of friends, you know what I mean?
That's great.
And it's cool.
You get to go and...
Yeah, exactly, and that's how you keep it going. You bring in people who know what they're doing. They're nice people. Good, everyone's a good person who understands the music and loves the music and wants to play it and wants to get out. And you know that's how it works.
And the chemistry is usually always good.
Oh yeah, it's because I'm a cool dude, so I like to keep it nice and chill, and you know we have a good time. It's about the music, we just play, you know.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
You know?
Can you tell that you click with a musician like very early on with playing with them, or does like
you could say that.
Yeah. Would you say that though?
I do. I would say that. Yeah, it depends. It depends on, you know, what you're doing. You know, what kind of music do you really want to play? You know, because everybody has a different music background and what they come from and what they do and what they can throw and mix into the whole thing. And everyone has a slightly different style and all that stuff, and everybody has different music they know. So they'll come to me and be like, "Do you know, you know, Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train," or something like that, you know, and I'm like, no, of course I don't. But like, show me and I'll figure it out, you know. Right. And we usually do it on, so if it's an easy song where I can follow them, and you know, I'll just follow, and that's usually kind of what we do over at Shawn's. I mean, and it's true, I do follow a lot. I'm very good at following people's music. Like I understand what they're doing because of that understanding of the theory. For instance, let me put it this way. I know that there's only so many choices that this guy can really make to make the sound that he's trying to make. There's only a couple chords that he might go to. And so I'm kind of just looking out for that. Is he going to an E? Is he going to an A? Is he going to a G? Is he going to, like, you know, is he going like this and that? This and that. You know, just watch wherever their hands are.
Yeah.
I'm kind of following. I know what the chords look like, so if I can see someone play it, I can very quickly pick up on it.
Do you read sheet music?
I can read it. I'm not like a guy who can just read and just play the piano and just, you know, watch it and just be like, and just keep playing. No, I have to look at it.
Are you more auditory or visual?
Yeah. Auditory and visual. Like, I can hear it and tell you what you should be playing.
Wow, yeah. That's cool.
You know, so if you're playing something that's like... versus...
I just can't take it. I'm just watching this shake.
I know.
Yeah.
Like going over.
So like, or if you want to be like, if you were like, you could be like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it might be, like. You know, there's lots of little things you can do, you know. And there's little tricks you can make. So there's lots of things people be like, you know, things like that, whatever. I like more like songs. So like I'm like a big old 50s and 60s music buff, and like I like all that, like, you know, those old classics and stuff, you know. But like
you would have liked our last guest.
Who's your last guest?
Our last guest, Larry Hankin. He's like an actor who's been in a bunch of shit. Nice. But he was telling us these wild stories about how he was just like in Greenwich Village doing stand up at like the early open mics at coffee shops before they even had like major clubs and shit like that.
Yeah.
And he ended up like opening for Miles Davis and like Woody
awesome.
Allen and shit. And like
awesome. Bob Dylan was also doing the mics where he was at, and just like watch him perform, and you watch Bob Dylan perform, and you're like, yeah, when it's people who just been around that long, or it's just timing, or right place, right time. Well, it's like you and your crew.
You actually asked me when I kind of got started. I was actually going to those open mics at like, back in like, oh my God, like 97, 98. You know, in the city, we were going down to like the Raccoon Lounge and like it was like fucking, I don't even know what street it was on, but it was like, you know, it was like a real, very Delta blues type, Chicago blues type place, I should say, not Delta blues, more like a Chicago blues type venue. And we were going to open mics back then that were like, we were still kids, you know, but we were playing the blues. So the blues is everything is kind of based around the blues because it's just a 1-4-5 essentially. And what that means is you're using the 1 chord, you're using the 4 chord, you're using the 5 chord. That's it. But you're playing like sevenths. So instead of playing major and minor chords, you're playing seventh chords. So 1, 4. That's why it sounds so bluesy. Because you're playing a seventh. Those are the blues chords.
How long have you had this guitar for?
Oh man, this probably 12 years. 13 years, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
When did you get your first guitar? What was your first?
16.
You still have it?
I was 16. I do still have it. Yeah. I don't really.
It's
sell
all
my
like
stuff.
worn and used.
Yeah,
it's
it's actually really cool. Well, my first guitar that I got was like a red '57 reissue Strat, Fender Strat, and I still have it. It's cherry red.
Nice.
It's beautiful. It plays really nice and maple neck.
That's nice.
This was actually a gift from my wife. This is actually my wife's guitar.
Cool.
But she doesn't really play it as often. She plays the ukulele.
Oh.
And we actually did a ukulele album. We recorded a ukulele album.
That's cool.
What's it called?
It's called Ukulele Love Boat.
Cool.
And we call ourselves the Fools of Fortune.
Oh, very cool.
That's pretty much what we are. And we it's on my website. You can buy it there, but it's all like love songs. The whole thing is basically love songs, except for maybe one song, which is just kind of like an instrumental. It's like almost like Celtic type music, whatever.
Yeah.
How is it if you're writing new music and you do you ask her about it, or you're just like, oh hey?
She actually said, she's like, "We want to play music today?" And I was like, "Yeah, we didn't get to though, because I came here. We would have ended up playing music today." I play the piano and she'll play the ukulele, or I'll play the guitar and she'll play the ukulele. She's very, very good. She's learned. She's incredibly smart, so she picked it up very quickly, and she understands music because she's been around us for so long.
Yeah.
You know, she understands what we're doing. She's kind of, and she knows it, so she can really play. She's got good rhythm and all that stuff. So
will she be like honest though if you're playing something? She's just like, no, that's terrible.
Yes. Exactly how she is. She will say, "Stop. Stop. I don't like that. Let's do something else. Change that. Get that out of there. Do more of that one that I like. That thing. Do that.
Do that thing. Do that.
That's how she does.
Yeah. What's the process like with her? Like when you guys creating together?
She is amazing in every single way, and it's fantastic. But she's very clear with what she wants, so I can kind of get the idea of what she's looking for. But at the same time, sometimes I'll just play something and she'll be like, I like that. Whatever that was, let's do that. And she'll come to me with a song like, can we do this song? Can we try this one? Like, so we do the Beatles. What goes on in your heart? What goes on in your mind? You are tearing me apart when you treat me so unkind. What goes on in your mind? You know, we do that song, and she understands it. She can play it. She picks up on it very quick. We learn songs. We play Imagine, and we play all the songs on the album. You know, all that stuff. So it's cool. It's a lot of fun, and you know, I just like playing music. So that's just kind of what I enjoy. I feel blessed in life that we have that. You know, it's really it's a magical thing. It's a magical art form in a lot of ways. Absolutely. It's like, because I'm able to, especially with recording music, you're able to paint a picture for some people in their minds that you can't really do it physically. It's all it's all in your heart and your mind and how you feel and how it hits you and how it makes you move and stuff like that.
And it translates across the board for anybody because everybody can interpret it their way and everybody has, you know...
It's different. It's different to everyone.
Yeah.
But it's the same to everyone, so it kind of connects everyone.
Yes.
And like it really, one of the... I used to work in a few studios here and there. We worked at Dave Bennett's studio in Englewood, and I worked a few places out in different areas. But one of the funniest things one of the best things that I heard was, it's a drug. It changes the brain chemistry in a listener's brain, and it changes the way they think about something. So if someone is down, you can pick them up. If someone is up, you can bring them down. And it's all about, you know, moods and shades of different colors and how you build it together and how you implement it and how you rhythmically and, you know, how heavy it gets. That's why you'll see different music that's just like, some people are like, it's like, you know. Like, I can't listen to that, I'm sorry. Like, yes, this shit is awesome. You know, so it's, you know, it's all good with me, but, you know, I do feel in a lot of ways that music has kind of gone downhill in a lot of ways. But again, it's kind of turned me off towards like following and looking for new music, because I feel like it's kind of lost its way and the industry's kind of just a messed up whole thing.
Where do you get your new music?
Yeah, I was also curious. Do you like a band like Tame Impala? Like, are you inspired? Like, are there anybody?
Never heard of them.
Wow. Okay.
I would be intrigued.
Sorry, the name?
Tame Impala.
Tame Impala. I actually have heard of Tame Impala.
They're like an Australian.
I don't know if I've heard. Maybe I've heard the music when I heard the name.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't remember it.
Because I would say he's definitely somebody who Kevin Parker, the lead man of Tame Impala, I'd say that he definitely is influenced by like 50s, 60s, 70s rock.
Okay, yeah.
But then it also
someone
has, like,
had
an
told me
electronic-
about
yeah.
it. Like someone had mentioned that name, so I do remember the name. I'm looking it up.
Some of the best
but
rock
I don't
music
remember.
right now, probably.
I don't remember it. You know.
Do you just get like just suggestions from people, like other people you talk to, instead of like going on Spotify or searching or what's recommended to find?
Well, you know, I have a lot of music that I know I already do like a lot of artists that I listen to that I'm kind of into. I listen to a lot of like Ray Charles.